Hey Tubies, it's Psychic Bob. It is so rocking to be with you. How you like it? I got on my new fall charm jacket, and if you guys don't know what this is, you missed the video. Back on Sunday, this past Sunday, I did a video showing me getting this jacket ready. My mom's in it. We put these patches on. I got pins starting. I got some more pins that'll be coming. We're going to put those on. But a lot of you wrote to me from that video, and you said, "Say, Bob, that is so cool. I never thought about having a pentagram on my jacket." And some people wrote me and said, "Say, Bob, you know, I'm just new to the craft. I'm still understanding the pentagram. You know, I've never been sure kind of what it all means, but I like it. It looks cool." Well, I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I've opened up a lot of people's eyes to understanding that the pentagram is a wonderful and powerful symbol. You know, my whole house is literally filled with pentacles, pentagrams. And people say, what's the difference? Pentacle generally is when you have the star with a circle. So like this is a pentacle. It's got the circle surrounding the star. Behind me here on the wall are pentacles. Now, if we take the circle off and we just have the 5-pointed star alone, that's called a pentagram. Either way, they're symbols of Wicca, powerful symbols of protection. And in fact, today I am wearing my pentacle shirt, and I've got on, and you guys have seen this before, my moonstone pentacle pendant. So I'm always wearing. In fact, actually, I forgot to put it on. I had them taken off. I also got my pentacle ring, which I need to put on. So check that out. There's my pentacle ring, if you can see it. Oops, let me get up here. This is silver, so I like to wear this. And then I have another ring that has Wiccan prayers on it, and it's hard to see here if I can get it on camera. It also has little pentacles engraved on it. Can you see that? There you go. So, anyways, Psychic Bob is totally into the pentacle. I got it happening. And as I said, many of you wrote to me and said how much you enjoyed Sunday's video. So if you haven't seen that, go back in the queue and you'll see it says Psychic Bob gets his fall jacket ready, or Psychic Bob's magical fall jacket. I can't remember the title, but you'll see it. It's got jacket in the title. Anyways, I was thinking about, because of all the letters that got people talking about the pentacle and what it means, I want to give you guys a little more in-depth introduction to the pentacle. Now, you know, in that video I talked about what the 5 points mean. And again, if you didn't see that, you need to go back and see that, okay? See that video. But I had forgotten about this. You know, I have a whole library of Wiccan books. And this is a book that I bought several years ago. I don't know if it's still in print. It's called The Solitary Wiccan's Bible. And it's by Gavin and Yvonne Frost. And I don't always agree with everything that the Frosts write. They're a little different in the Wiccan community. They're a little on the outside the mainstream. But I do think they have profound things in some of their books. Oops, I'm knocking my computer over here. And, you know, the thing is that I always say look deep within everything, even if it's an author that you don't normally read, because even sometimes people we don't normally count as people we want to work with, they have occasionally gems of knowledge. And this is one of these cases where I found some gems of knowledge in this book. And they have a chapter here called Chapter 3 called The Pilgrimage of the Pentagram. And it talks about working with the pentagram. Similar to a labyrinth. Do you guys know what a labyrinth is? A labyrinth is like a maze that you walk through. And there are points throughout the maze that you pause and you do spiritual reflection. I love labyrinths. I've tried them. I think they're very powerful. And this book proposes that the pentagram, the pentacle, excuse me, pentagram, pentacle, whichever way you want to call it, in a sense could be used as a labyrinth. And they start off here with talking about some of the meanings found in the sign of the pentagram. Now, they say pentagram. I say pentacle. I'm not arguing. It's all the same. But I wanted to kind of read some of this to you. Now, just to give you some background, earlier in the book, they discuss having the pentagram surrounded by 3 circles. They call it the triple encircled pentagram. And they talk about that. I'm not going to go into all that right now, but we're going to just focus on the star itself, the 5-pointed star. And it says, now that you have made your pilgrimage across the circles, that's earlier in the book when they talk about crossing the circles in their concurrent realms, and on into the spiritual realms, you can explore the ideas inherent in the pentagram. This inward spiraling pilgrimage leads to the deity at the center of all things. The 5 points of the pentagram represent the 5 basic precepts. Now this is different than what I told you guys on Sunday, so listen closely. And I want you to look at the image of the star here, okay? So 1 point represents progressive reincarnation, okay? Then we've got another point, which is the law of attraction. And then we have another point, the 3rd point, harmony and serenity. The 4th point is power through knowledge. And the 5th point is the wick and reed, and it harm none. The number 5 also reminds you that of all of your 5 senses, should be employed to their fullest. Sometimes Wicca is called the 5-fold path to distinguish it from the 6th-fold path of Judaism, the 7 deadly sins of Christianity, and the 8-fold path of Buddhism. Isn't that interesting? Let's go through that again. So this is called the 5-fold path of the Wicca. That's interesting. Different from the 6-fold path of Judaism. You know, Judaism has the 6-pointed star. And then the 7 deadly sins of Christianity, the 8-fold path of Buddhism. You know, Buddhism has the wheel with 8 spokes, which is the Dharma wheel. And so these are some points. I'm not going to go through the whole chapter, but in this book they offer a new way, kind of like a labyrinth, a way to reflect on the pentagram. Now, later on in the book, they also go on another path, a little more in-depth with the pentagram. And they even say, well, they have a chapter further in called Meditating on the Pentagram. And they show that you can apply this to other areas. And they give a list here of other types of meditation points on the pentagram. Now, what you can do when you do meditating on the pentagram is you can either have a little pentagram like this that you look at, or you have one on the wall, or maybe you have one off your altar, or if you're really ambitious and you live in a way like you have a floor, you could trace like in chalk or flour or something on your floor a giant pentagram and literally walk through the points. I think that's really cool. If I had like a floor where I could do that here, I would definitely do that. Or if you're at the beach, you might go out on the beach and draw a giant pentagram in the sand and then do your own labyrinth walking through it. So there are a lot of ways that this can be employed. But they give some ideas of other pentagram ideas. And he says here, below are some other sets of thoughts to give you a feel for this system. When you have a problem with understanding life and its vagaries, create a meditative pentagram of your own. Okay? So I'm going to read through a list of different types of focal points. Okay, so one of them, the focal points could be death, violence, sorrow, illness, incapacity. Now that would be kind of the pentagram of sorrow. But you know, sometimes where we're in that place of sorrow, you know, like right now you might think, oh, that sounds morbid. But sometimes you need to go there. You know, I think in the West we avoid death so much, at least the non-spiritual people do. We as the Wicca are called to go deeper. So this might be a very powerful pentagram. You could label each point with these following words: death, violence, sorrow, illness, incapacity. What does that mean? The cycle of sorrow. If you face that and walk through it, it could bring transformation. That you don't stay there, that you have the power to move beyond it. Okay, something just to think about. I know that's kind of intense. Or you could have another one if you're dealing with earth issues, financial struggles. You could meditate on the points of the pentagram, such as wealth, money, prudence, debt, starvation. You know? Or how about another set of pentacle points? Truth, wisdom, secrets, knowledge, lies. You see? So literally the list is unlimited. Now, they also put some charts in here, which I like. Here's one called the Pentagram of Love. See that? And see how the points are labeled? So I'll just read these off to you. So the Pentagram of Love has, I don't know if you guys can see it. I'll just read it to you. One point, the top point's love, friendship, desire, lust, passion. Isn't that interesting? And if you walk through your pentagram of love, you would come to understand kind of where you are in that matrix of power, where others in your life fall in that matrix of power. So, you know, when we talk about the pentagram, it's very powerful, very powerful. And I could probably talk for 6 hours on the pentagram, but today I just wanted to bring that to you because I've been getting questions and letters. You know, does it only mean earth, air, fire, water, and spirit? That's the traditional meaning. But you know, the Frost here have found out that the pentagram has such power, it's literally packed with power, that we can see other energies in the points. And as we go through it, we're given power through the sacred image to touch in on these truths that help us move forward on our journey. So anyways, I would just, you know, want to open up this discussion, and I'm curious, you know, do you guys ever meditate on the pentagram? I do all the time. As I said, literally my house is filled with it. One day I'm going to do, I didn't do today because I don't have the time, but we'll have what I call Psychic Bob's Pentagram Tour. And I'll show you all the different ways and areas that I display pentagrams in my house. I think that would be fun. So we'll have that soon. But, you know, right now I think that it's a wonderful time as, you know, I've been getting ready for fall. I've been getting my jacket ready. And I put on my jacket symbols of protection because, as many of you know, I am unfortunately a victim of stalkers. And when you're stalked, you have to have power of protection. So I always wear my symbols, my sacred symbols, openly. Now, if you're somebody and you live in a small town that's very hostile towards Wicca and Wiccans and paganism, you may have to be a little more discreet, you know. You know, I openly wear my pentacle, but, you know, you should, I think, everybody who's a Wiccan at least, or a pagan, should wear a pentacle. If you have to, you can tuck it inside your shirt, like I'm doing here, and nobody will see it. But you've got it, when you touch your chest, you can feel it under your shirt. But, you know, as I said, these days, I'm very open. I think that the pentacle actually has so much power in it. I know that I've actually had people try to attack me. And I'll actually hold up my pentacle when I'm walking towards a group of people that are being evil or threatening me. And when I hold that power up and I visualize rays of light coming from it, like streaming rays of white light or blue light or purple light, depending on what I feel like, I notice that it tends to disperse hostility. So I'm a believer in it. But as I've been reading this book, you know, today, it really has got me thinking about how much more work we can do. I think we're probably going to have to revisit this because I think that I would like to really take it to another level. Maybe I can create a labyrinth and literally walk with it through you and show you how to do a walkthrough. That's going to take a little preparation, a little time. I have to get some space to do that. I may make, maybe I'll make a canvas tarp with a pentacle and we'll put it on the floor. I have to think about that, how I want to do that. But I think it's definitely worth revisiting this. But in the meantime, I would encourage you, especially because we have a lot of solitaries here, check out this book, The Solitary Wiccan's Bible by Gavin and Yvonne Frost. There's their names at the bottom. some of the stuff in this book I don't agree with. I think they get a little out there, my personal opinion. But there's still a lot of good in it. So look for the gems, and I think you'll be inspired and you'll be blessed. So I do want you guys to tell me in the box below, do you ever work with the pentagram? Have you used it as a labyrinth? What do its points mean to you? Maybe, in your meditations along the way, the pentagram revealed itself in another way to you. I'd love to hear what your thoughts and experiences are. How do you use it in your life? Do you wear it as jewelry? Do you wear it on clothing? What is it to you? Do you display it in your home? Tell me, share with me your experiences with the pentagram. I'm always curious when you first saw the pentagram or the pentacle, and what did you think? Did it draw you to it, or did it scare you? Did you think, oh no, it's a satanic symbol and the devil's going to get me? Some people have that experience, but they later on learn. Or did you see it like me? I saw it and I was literally like, something about the symbol, I have to have this in my life. It was even before I was in the craft, I was drawn to it. And then when I found out that the Wicca employ it and it's actually a tool, wow. In fact, hold on, speaking of tools, let me show you one of my pentacle tools. Give me just a second. All right, Psychic Bob is not so organized today, so bear with him. I'm back. You just have to wait. I'm too lazy to edit this video today. So, this is my very first pentacle I ever bought. I've had this about 20 years. It's old. It's beat up. I use it on rituals. I've spilled wax on it. I've scraped things. I've had rocks on it and crystals. It's old. It's gone through a lot of wear. I'm going to repaint it soon. It needs an overhaul. But I wanted to show you, this was my first pentacle, and I still use it to this day. And it's sacred. Now, the pentacle can be a shield also. So, some Wiccans use it in ritual. They hold it up to invoke the earth element or to call down protection. So, you might want to, if you don't have a life-size, a large pentacle for your altar, you might want to get one. I think they're valuable. And, in the past few years, I've added more. This is my ritual bale. And it has a pentacle, as you can see, on top of it, done in silver. And I also have the pentacle on my incense holder. So, as I tell you, it's just a big part of my life. And I'm not saying you have to do this, but I would encourage you at least to explore it if you're not familiar with the symbol. And let its power reveal itself. I always say, I don't have to prove to you the pentacle. It will prove itself to you. So as you get to work with it and learn how to invoke it and meditate on it, it'll take you places. So anyways, guys, I just want to share this with you today. And I hope wherever you are having a blessed day. And for those of you who are new here, every Wednesday we do this. It's called Wiccan Wednesday. And I talk about some Wiccan topic. And, yesterday we had messages from the spirit world. I meant to tell you that if you didn't see yesterday's video, I did psychic readings for little mini readings for people who wrote in. So if you didn't see that, check that out. It's in the queue right before this one. Well, guys, listen, the sun is setting here, and Psychic Bob's got to get ready for dinner. But I'm so glad that you're here, and I hope this is giving you something to think about. Luckily, I got my jacket on as it's getting cool. And as we get more charms for the jacket, we'll be showing you guys here. But I want to say thank you for being here. You guys are the best. I love all of you. And I hope you'll keep it here. We've had a really good past few days, On Monday, we had our horoscopes. So if you didn't see that, I do horoscopes for this whole week for all 12 zodiac signs. Check that out. That's in the queue, 2 videos before this. Then on Tuesday, we had messages from the spirit world, and today's Wiccan Wednesday. And tomorrow is Thursday, and that's Vlog Thursday. So we're going to go somewhere and just be out on the town and be seen. So you don't want to miss it. Make sure to be here. And you guys are the best. I love you. For those of you who are new, we put out videos every day, 7 days a week. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise. Anyways, thanks for being here, guys. I love you, and we'll be back here tomorrow for Vlog Thursday. But until then, keep it here at Spirit Channel. By the way, like this, favorite it, and hit subscribe. Be part of our channel. Share this video, and be part of our scene. We'll see you tomorrow, and until then, may you always blessed be.